This show's so important online, you can't find a decent stream. It's insane. Gotta get on the ball next year. Gotta step it up, Critics' Choice. For a show that can shake up the awards race, it didn't seem like this show really did much for actual entertainment quality. But what do you do? Welcome to another edition of a 2018 awards show. I guess you would say post-award show podcast, exclusively here on the Popcast Network. This is the Critics' Choice Awards. My name is Owen. Joining me as always is Ashley.
Hello.
And also joining me for the awards, we have AJ.
Yes, you do.
Let's get into this. Ashley has all of our lineups and what all we went with. So he knows who's in the lead right now when it comes to tonight's show. And I will make the announcement right now. I hope you're ready because tomorrow morning, somewhere in the vicinity of 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., somewhere in that time frame, we should be, tentatively speaking, talking about the guilds. So yeah, that's going to be a podcast coming tomorrow. And yes, very soon, not only our Spirit Awards podcast, our BAFTAs podcast, and yes, our Let's Predict Every Single Category in the Oscars podcast. Ashley, this is all yours because you're the one that keeps track of everything.
Yeah, it was real nice of them to do the whole reality series thing and the really low-tier TV things. Never once showed us what one screenplay.
Yeah, I gotta love that.
I know. Don't worry, we'll get to that. We've got to get to the important stuff. Like, reality fucking hell.
Bright Guy says, I know AJ is not happy with one category.
That's exactly right.
I am not happy about quite a few things, mainly because, spoilers, I fucked up tonight.
Josh Rickett says Frances has Best Actress lock. She always did.
We'll get to that.
It's going to be a great night for Martin.
We've got to talk about the trivial shit first, guys. We've got to talk television.
Let's get TV out of the way first and talk about how AJ is a prognosticator, apparently. Once again.
So, we all missed on The Voice.
Yeah, forget that. It should have been Drag Race. I'm sorry.
Speaking of, RuPaul won for Best Reality Show Host.
So, of course, has to write everything in the world. Jack Mooney yells out, "Big Little Eyes." Thank you, live chat.
Jimmy Kimmel Live got Best Talk Show. Owen missed with Ellen. To be honest, I think even you would say after seeing whatever that shit that was advertised after the Globes on Sunday, you might have changed your prediction.
Yeah, I probably should have.
What the shit was that thing? Dear God. But you and AJ both got Shark Tank for Structured Reality. I probably should have gone for it. Occasionally,
I went with
it. Yeah. Well, I think I just brought up Shark Tank because actually, no, that was the only one it was nominated for. And then none of us got Born This Way for Unstructured Reality Series. Which, if I'd have known that was the concept, I probably should have gone with it. I just went with Norman Reedus,
so I didn't have to.
If I'd have, there's quite a few. There's a show over here that seems to have the same concept called The Undateables. In that it's like people with disabilities or whatever that sort of either find love with each other or find love with somebody that isn't disabled and whatever. It's pretty popular over here. It's pretty popular over here because apparently we like good stuff. Whereas America, apparently, if you look at the list, we've got Teen Mom in there. Dear fucking God. So now we get to the Big Little Lies categories,
Good job, AJ.
which is the AJ. Props to him. Although I will admit, I got the right person. I got the right TV show, but the wrong person for the one. So Laura Dern got supporting actress. Skarsgård got supporting actor. Kidman got actress. Although, if we're going by the Hollywood gossip, she didn't thank her adopted kids again.
Well, she left Keith
I don't know
Urban,
why that's it.
so
Yeah, I don't know why that's important, but yeah. And then because Baz Luhrmann.
Exactly.
Ewan McGregor for Fargo in Best Actor.
Woo! Never bet against Satine and Christian, especially when they're going for different awards in the same night.
I don't know if it's because I actually like the show and I loved him in it, but I don't know why I became so convinced he was going to lose everything. But yeah, this totally is what should be happening. I'm glad he's winning.
More momentum for the Obi-Wan movie, damn it.
Oh boy.
So then for the drama acting stuff, Owen, you got a point for Ann Dowd for The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
We all got David Harbour for Stranger Things because it was sort of the only one that fit, I guess. AJ, you picked up Elizabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale for the actress bit.
By the way, very interesting that David Harbour wins on the same night that Guillermo del Toro has a big night. Hellboy connection.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm trying to think though whether that means Claire Foy is going to get no recognition ever now, because I don't know whether the next series would be eligible for next year's awards. Because I don't think The Crown was even in last year because I don't know, they wanted to be different or whatever. And Best Actor I picked up for Sterling K. Brown, which I didn't go for on the Globe. So I was like, okay. Then in the comedy, we all missed on Big Bang Theory.
I honestly didn't know how that worked, really. I thought that show's been on so long. It was like, nope, not going to win anymore. I guess not.
Yeah, but hasn't her character only been in for a few seasons?
I've never watched the show, so I cannot think about it.
Because she isn't one of the original, 5 or 6 that I can think of. I got Best Supporting Actor for Walton Goggins, which means more Will and Grace and Hope.
Maybe
I don't know whether it's won Critics' Choice before. I should probably check. Because I'm intrigued to see whether it actually the rule follows and everything. Where is it? There it is. I need to click that name. Awards. What awards has it won? Oh, it's won Emmys. Okay, it's won Emmys. Critics' Choice. Wow, that was the first time it was up for Critics' Choice.
Oh, and real quick, before we go any further, Jack Mooney Show and Josh Ricketts, we will be discussing when we discuss the movies, I will be bringing up the comments you guys made because they want to talk about editing and talk about potential locks for the show itself. We'll get to that in a bit.
With respect, the TV wing of the Critics' Choice has only been going since 2011, which is obviously it finished in 2006, so that's why it hasn't been nominated before. So the snub sort of continues because it just begun. Then the one I guess we would have picked had we seen the Globes, Rachel Brosnahan, or as the person that read the envelope, Brosnahan or something. It was like, great.
I think you said Brosnahan. I think Brosnahan, like it was Matt Riddle that was reading it off.
Bros before Hosnahan. I don't know. And then the left field one. Freaking Cheers one. Ted Danson.
I blame. You know what? We're just gonna say that a lot of people would say he won for Sam Malone. I think he won for getting even with Dad, because Macaulay Culkin was in the wrestling business for one night only.
Dr. John Becker says hello.
Ah, come on. I never watched Becker.
You should have. It's amazing.
Yeah, I know. Those CBS shows I kind of stayed away from. The only thing I watched on CBS was I watched Picket Fences for a bit, and then
Or was it actually for 3 Men and a Baby?
we'll go with that. All hail Steve Gutenberg. Continue.
Oh, I completely forgot he uncredited turned up in Ted. It was Ted that won it. There we go. It's official. Ted won it for him.
Fair point.
That was the joke about the Cheers DVDs.
Oh yeah, I remember now. I missed the open goal for animated series because, of course, it went to Rick and Morty. So you guys picked up points there.
The number 2 seller at Hot Topic. Thank you very much.
And my cultural bias got the best of me as well because Wizard of Lies got best TV movie, even though it won nothing else. So, and then the other ones sort of went just as the Globes did. Limited series went to Big Little Lies, which we all got. Me and AJ got Handmaid's Tale for drama series, and then we all missed because Amazon for best comedy with Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So,
with that.
Scores on the doors. AJ wins the TV stuff. Which is, would you say that was an upset, AJ?
It's bizarre.
Especially considering you had 12, the next nearest was Owen on 9. And then me on 8. So,
see, the thing is... Go ahead.
AJ takes the lead, 22 to Owen's 19 and my 18.
See, that's the thing, though. That's where this competition gets really interesting towards the end, because even if it looks like you're losing most of the races, if you can win nearly everything, you could still come back and win the whole thing. And that's what makes this fun.
I don't. We'll get to that. You guys are still close. I'm not. So we get to the movie stuff, the stuff that we sort of really do care about, and
yes,
the first procrastinate. Can't even say the fucking word. The first prediction.
What is a procrastinate is the question for the night.
No, I was trying to. Oh, I guess I was trying to cross over proclamation and.
I don't know what you're doing, but
procrastinate.
No.
I don't know. But anyway, AJ got War for the Planet of the Apes for special visual effects.
Fuck yeah.
What did I go with? I don't remember.
What do you think?
Oh yeah. Hey, I was right about a lot tonight, so there you go.
Well, we'll get to that. We all missed Darkest Hour for makeup and hair.
That makes no sense. What do we go with?
The Shape of Water. It makes total sense. We really should.
I went with Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I saw that.
But then I forgot the Beast was CGI, so Dan Stevens did fuck all.
Didn't we? Well, pretty much. Didn't we say during the podcast itself that we were like wondering, oh, Darkest Hour could possibly win this? Because come on,
I should have thought about it, because all the stories of him having to be 5.5 hours in makeup to put on all that padding.
Maybe I'm just excited that Doug Jones actually liked my tweet about The Shape of Water.
Bias. Best original song didn't follow the Globes. Did go to Remember Me from Coco.
Okay.
So again,
not surprising.
I missed an open goal.
Well, seriously, if Coco was going to keep losing The Greatest Showman, that would have just been embarrassing. So hopefully that's the end of that.
Well, I guess we'll see as we move forward. We still have a few shows that have music categories.
Oh, well, for song, I don't think so, have we?
AJ, how many awards do we have left that actually have a best song category?
I think it's just the Oscars.
Yeah.
Then we literally have no idea what's going to win.
The BAFTAs do score.
Okay.
They don't do individual song.
Fair point.
And I don't think any of them songs are up for Grammys. Grammy Awards. I'll Google that in the background. Speaking of score, though, Dayplower wins again.
Yes.
The Shape of Water. So that seems to be a likely one heading into the other two.
Yeah, I really need to give up on Zimmer at this point.
Oh yeah, all the songs on the Grammys are last year's, like Moana and La La Land and Lion, and the ones from this year are Marshall and 50 Shades fucking darker.
Hey, I like that song. Thank you. The movie's garbage, but I love that song. Can't go wrong with Zayn and Taylor Swift.
You can polish a turd all you want. Can't wait for it to be over. So then we get to the interesting one. The one in which all three of us got it right, despite the fact we chose two different films.
Well, that's actually the first actual chat comment that I can go into then.
Yes. So yeah, the award was shared by Lee Smith for Dunkirk and Paul Mackless and Jonathan Amos for Baby Driver.
Yeah, Jack Mooney's show brings up the fact we need to talk about Baby Driver and Dunkirk time for editing, and he also wants to talk about James Franco not being at the show. Once again, I'll say this live for the first time. This stuff that's going on, pay it no mind. Seriously, it's not going to do anything to the actual awards body, so just get that out of your head. Franco's not missing, and if he does...
Sam Rockwell didn't fucking show up.
Yeah, exactly. Most people didn't show up.
Nobody from Billboard's cast did.
No,
Francis McDormand wouldn't fuck that.
I mean, they had other things they had to be doing apparently tonight. I mean, it's...
So I did. I don't know if anybody else watched that Colbert interview last night, but yeah, I felt like I could feel Franco's sweat. It was that intense.
Colbert is a very hard-hitting interviewer, to be honest.
Yeah, but they're not on Netflix with Letterman, so you know.
Apparently he did Seth Meyers and was talking about, like, ever since this happened, he feels like he's in a really bad place.
Probably.
Yeah.
Then we get the best cinematography. Oh, shit.
Before we go on, we have to talk about the fact that it's kind of amazing that even though it was a tie, that Baby Driver did technically win.
Yeah, it did.
And
I don't care about a tie. Screw it. Baby Driver still won an award. That's all that matters.
Dunkirk.
Do you remember?
They shared the award, and it was the only award they won.
Yeah, and that's just like that's like what Bry Guy brought up about original screenplay last year with La La Land and Manchester by the Sea.
I didn't mention this, but and remember when you called me earlier today?
I do.
You interrupted me. I was in the middle of my fourth time watching the foot chase for Baby Driver on YouTube again.
That's amazing.
Somebody likes Hocus Pocus a bit too much.
What's great about that is when he runs through the store in the mall and Hocus Pocus blends in with that rap song. It's fucking amazing.
I tell you, I mean, I might as well call it now. It's in my sound. I can't remember which, but it's in my sound mixing or sound editing in terms of my Oscar predictions.
Yeah, it's in mixing for sure. It's gotta be. It's at the it's in the sound mixing guild.
Everybody's got a freaking guild.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said frickin'. I'm not on Awesome Games Done Quick. So yeah, fucking Deacons won.
Hashtag Roger Deakins finally wins? Question mark.
Well, I'd say that he's because of patrioticness. He's probably taking the BAFTA.
I'd say so.
I don't know whether the Cinematographers Guild and when they're announcing their stuff. Can't be bothered to search for it. Because I've got a gripe with another film, but we'll get to it when we bring it up. So then we get to another one. Again, the only win on the night. Best costume design went to Mark Bridges for Phantom Thread, which, you know, I guess is the logical one, I guess.
And it is a movie literally about clothes, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but when you take into consideration that it lost out to, what did it lose out to? Oh, it wasn't there. Okay.
What do we go with? I'm curious, Ashley, tonight.
Oh, both of you went for Phantom Thread. I went for Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, I thought so. So if you real quick, since we brought up Marshall a little bit ago, let's bring it up one more time. If you're at an AMC theater for this Martin Luther King weekend, you can actually get a free ticket to go see Marshall if you buy it at the box. If you go to the box office,
That'll probably help its being seen as much as it helped Selma.
Yeah, very true. And the rest of the comments in chat for Josh and Jack Mooney show, I will bring them up when we would get to those next categories.
Next, we come to production design, which went to Shape of Water. Another point throwing.
Yep.
Then foreign language. I guess I just got lucky because I went against the Globe pick that I did. And I went within the fade. So, I mean, is that front runner now for foreign language?
That's weird because I heard that In the Fade did not get much of a critical reception. Like, I think it's even like rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
Of course, the great thing is when we get to the BAFTAs, half of them were in last year's race or didn't even qualify for last year's race because they chose other films in the Oscars. That's where it will get really complicated.
Yeah, like Elle and the Handmaiden and the Salesman are there.
Yeah, keep in mind, Handmaiden wasn't even picked by China as its submission, yeah.
In the Fade is now currently at 68% fresh on RottenTomatoes.com.
Barely.
Yep.
Sneaking in. Then we get to the comedy movie stuff because, you know, reasons. And
this took an interesting turn.
Yeah.
And this is where I bring it up. Lady Bird had 8 nominations. It won nothing.
I'm confused about this, to say the least.
Well, given they didn't show it in the show, I'm curious who won Best Actress in a Comedy, or do I want to know?
Well,
We'll
Owen
get to
got
that.
it. Oh, well, we're talking about it because Owen got it right. It went to
To Margot Robbie.
yeah.
I would like to take this moment now to quote Paul Giamatti in Private Parts. You goddamn motherfuckers!
Now, here's an interesting thing that I've noticed.
Still angry I can't see this movie.
I'm gonna read the BAFTA eligibility comments.
Okay.
Films must have been available to the UK public for the first time in the UK between the 1st of January 2017 and the 16th of February 2018. Do you want to know when the opening for I, Tonya is?
Well, I know the answer to this, but you can go ahead and tell everyone.
The 20th of February. So how the shit is it eligible anymore for BAFTAs? Because previously, you know, I'll admit it, it was released that weekend, the weekend of the 15th. Because they're sneaky fuckers, I guess they can get some loophole because they said, oh, it's coming out then, but they've had to move it because one, Black Panther opens the previous Tuesday, the 13th, at least over here in the UK. But then, if you look at it, Shape of Water opens on Valentine's Day. And then Friday is Lady Bird. So I'm guessing that's why I, Tonya moved. But
Possibly.
if that's the case, it can't be eligible. Because it isn't open on the 16th.
I guess they're deciding they want to break their own rules.
I just have to go off and say it's very unconventionally sweet to have The Shape of Water open on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
No lie. Okay.
The thing that's fucking me over is I'm having to watch 12th Night on that day. The live Royal Shakespeare Theatre production. So I guess I've just got to hope that the art house cinema's showing it that day. I know the one of the art house places, their members preview, of which one, I'm not a member, and two, I can't go anyway because it's already sold out. But it was even before all this buzz anyway, so I guess they like Del Toro.
Yeah, Brad Guy says Lady Bird got nothing. Yeah, it was a bad night. It'll get better. He's also confused why In the Fade keeps winning because of potentially Diane Kruger's campaigning.
There's no other reason it could possibly be except the campaigning. It makes no sense.
So we've got Smurfy Boy 92. Welcome. I'm new to chat. Is the Post in trouble for the Oscars since they got shut out at BAFTA? Could be.
Really, its best bets are a very low tier picture nomination. There's always, even no matter how much she's missed, there's always the possibility of Streep.
Yeah, of course.
And then maybe possibly editing a nomination.
Keep in mind as well, BAFTA will always have at least one in all the categories that is British orientated, whether it be the actor or the film. Because, I mean, if we want to bring that up, we've got Jamie Bell in for Best Actor for Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, Annette Bening for Best Actress, which she could have been a contender outright, but because of the release schedule for it in America, it wasn't going to get the Globes and it wasn't going to get the Critics' Choice because they never saw it. So I guess the people must be wowed enough by it for it to get a late chance at the Oscars, of which it won't matter in terms of the BAFTAs because they'll have already, the nominations have already been decided. So that's the outlier, I guess, in that front. Then for supporting actor, let's randomly throw Hugh Grant in for Paddington 2.
Was Dallas Buyers Club. Dallas Buyers Club got a picture nomination, a screenplay nomination, and 3 wins without any BAFTA nominations. Not by any means to say the Post can do that, but
again, though, I think that film came out the week before the BAFTAs.
I was under the impression when that happened it was ineligible, but I think I remember hearing later that it actually was.
No, it was eligible, but I think the major screenings for like the people that would have voted didn't happen until sort of after the nominations, I guess. And then in supporting actress, you've got Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread. And I guess to some extent, Kristen Scott Thomas for Darkest Hour because she missed out on the Globes. But is she in the SAGs?
Nah, just BAFTA.
So even the SAGs missed her out. So
Speaking of BAFTAs, Braga wants to know about Denis Villeneuve's nomination. What's your opinion on that?
I think that's as far as he's going to go.
Yeah.
I think DGA pretty much spelled it out for us. Usually there's like 1 or 2 differences in DGA, but I'm pretty sure DGA got it this year. But I do think it's warranted, yeah.
I feel bad I feel terrible not being able to have seen Blade Runner because I know a lot of people really give me flack for it, but it's just like that was before I started really watching everything, and I wasn't able to go back and check it out. So
that was before the movie pass.
That is before the movie pass. But I'm sorry right now. I'm telling you right now, Denny and Luca are just placeholders because
that's the thing. You bring up Luca Guadagnino. Call Me by Your Name really, really needed its BAFTA turnout.
I agree completely.
And Armie Hammer and Michael Stuhlbarg still missed.
Yeah, that's the bad thing. So much for that idea.
Because Hugh Grant.
God.
Still doesn't make sense to me. The other 4 do. That one, that's the why the shit is this here? I mean, it's a good performance and all, but it's like that's what we're putting forward as like. Does that mean Hugh Grant's going to be up for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars next year then?
It's to make up for the Florence Foster Jenkins snub.
Considering how BAFTA works, probably.
How hilarious would that be if Paddington 2 was over a year old and Hugh Grant still got it?
That'd be great.
Hey, if Get Out can come out in February, anything's possible.
Also, I sense there's a conspiracy theory for Paddington 2 because look who appears in Paddington 2 and is now hosting the BAFTAs. Joanna Lumley. Conspiracy theory.
There's just something I love about the sentence, there's a conspiracy around Paddington 2.
I mean, yeah, it's a good film, but it's like, it just seems a bit coincidental that.
So this is what got this whole conversation got started off talking about Margot Robbie winning.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jack Moody, that's what we're on right now.
People brought BAFTAs up, so that's what happened.
And then we started talking about the BAFTAs, and then we go into our We time travel.
I, Tonya technically should be invalid for the bloody BAFTAs.
Right. Okay, good. So now we're caught up. Thank you to everyone that's watching live right now and participating in our live chat. I'm trying to keep up with everything, but I'm trying to make sure everything stays on topic because
there's more people interested in our talk about this thing than I think that watch the fucking thing.
That's a shoot. That's a straight shoot.
If we're going on availability of actual feeds and not, because obviously I'm not in the right country. I'm having to get illegal feeds, of which half of them are like virus.
The thing is right now, and mine is, I just don't have cable, so I have to find alternate means to watch it as well. And finding something reliable that is airing the CW is not easy.
Which means that AJ was the one that actually had to officially sit through this shit.
Correct.
We got to talking about Crispin thinking we've been on supporting actress, but we're so not there yet.
No.
Next.
Franco got Best Actor in a Comedy.
Yes!
And then, again, the Lady Bird snub, because comedy movie went to Big Sick.
Honestly, with all the things that you guys have told me about the Big Sick, I really am not surprised that the critics went for it.
So my question, certainly for both of you, but probably more to AJ, because obviously he's been championing it quite a bit in his predictions.
Correct.
Do you think this means 6 in the Best Picture? As like a...
I've been thinking that because it scored PGA and WGA. And I know PGA has 11 slots now because there was a tie, but that's enough to think if if there's 9, the 8th or 9th spot would be the Big Sick, I think.
Mm-hmm. So then we get to sci-fi horror film, which we all got right for Get Out.
Of course.
Really surprising now that it beat The Shape of Water.
Well, it's the old. It's as I said when I did the picks. It's the old. Something's winning another category, so they give it to something else in another category.
I'm genuinely surprised. I thought they'd just be lazy and pick the same shit.
That's
then AJ picks up another point because they went. I guess considering the See Her award, it was sort of obvious that Wonder Woman was going to get Best Action Film. Also, we're saying that the lead character in Star Wars The Last Jedi is Rey.
In The Force Awakens, sure. I don't know you can say that about The Last Jedi.
And Beauty and the Beast, how can we say that Emma Watson is a lead character because she couldn't sing? They had to auto-tune the fuck out of her.
What I didn't quite understand, and maybe I was missing the point, because anything that wasn't an actual award, I was kind of tuning out. But it was, the way I understood it was, this is an award for, all those people that aren't conventionally attractive and look at magazines. And so, to represent people who are unconventionally attractive, they give an award to Gal Gadot.
Yeah, a woman who, if you take out Wonder Woman, has been a leggy model in the Fast and Furious films, a leggy model in 999, a leggy model in Criminal.
It was like the Oprah package at the Globes. It was like, let's show all 4 movies she's been in.
And then it's like she's a powerful character and been depicted the way she should have been. Did anybody see what Joss Whedon sort of did to her in Justice League? Like taking her back. I mean, how? The bloody whole inclinations that everybody wants to fuck Wonder Woman. They didn't do that in the actual Wonder Woman. They didn't do that in the Wonder Woman film. They did it in Justice League.
Jack Mooney says, I'm sorry, but I think Wonder Woman is so overrated.
I don't mind Wonder Woman. It's the fact that it was against the likes of Baby Driver, War for the Planet of the Apes, and Logan.
And Bry Guy has a point too, which we bring up every year. Get Out is not the best sci-fi movie, and Shape of Water is not the best horror movie. So obviously, when you have something that shares the same, then you pretty much have to say it's the best of both, even though it's technically not either one.
Yeah, but hang on. So Chris Hemsworth's up for Best Actor in a Comedy Movie for Thor Ragnarok. So why is Thor Ragnarok in the Best Action Movie category?
This is one particular case where I'd say, yeah, Thor probably did have just as much comedy as it did action.
I would agree with that. I saw Thor twice.
What we're trying to cover is basically the fact that they got rid of the Best Actor and Actress in an action category.
Gal Gadot can act.
At least Emily Blunt got to play Legend tomorrow before they took it away. That's the important thing.
Good point.
Well, keep in mind, the only acting gig at the minute, other than Wonder Woman, that Gal Gadot's got is the face of Revlon. That's it. She's already typecast. Because she ain't getting any other movie roles other than Wonder Woman.
Next thing you know, you're going to tell me she's going to be playing Laura Croft.
No, that's Alicia Vikander. That's Oscar-winning Alicia Vikander. Keep in mind, though, she's actually producing it as well.
God.
Yeah, because her production company is called Vicarious Productions. I don't know if that's clever or idiotic. I haven't decided yet.
She's ripping off the Spider-Man video games because that was Vicarious Visions. Anyway, best animated film went to Coco.
James agrees with you on the action category, AJ.
What's that?
James agrees with you completely in the action category.
In what regard?
He just says he agrees completely with you on the action category.
Oh, okay.
I think Ape, Logan, and Driver were better films.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
I don't suppose anybody's going to agree with me if I were to say that it doesn't matter what's horror and sci-fi between Get Out and Nature Shape of Water, because it should have taken that category anyway.
That's a fair point.
And technically, the best action movie that I saw in 2017 was Paddington 2. But yeah.
I'll be seeing it this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Trust me. I'm watching the post tomorrow, and then I'm going to watch Paddington on Saturday.
So then we get to the screenplays.
This is where we get another piece of business from the chat room.
So for adapted, me and AJ got it right. It went to James Ivory for Call Me By Your Name.
I should have not went against Call Me By Your Name in the Critics' Choice. Everywhere else, I think I'm fine, but Critics' Choice, no.
I was going to say, okay, hold on. Yeah, it was obviously going to be Call Me By Your Name, but I'm drawing a blank here. What the hell did you go with?
What did I go with?
Oh, hi, Mark.
You know, honestly, it wasn't a bad choice, but then I completely forgot about one of the critic darlings being involved in the category.
It's a Merchant Ivory production, except the merchant went and pissed off.
Okay, since the show decided it wasn't going to air it because it wasn't important enough, I'm dying to know what won original.
We'll get to that in a minute. Basically, Jack Mooney Show says, I thought Call Me By Your Name was a lock for picture because of Moonlight last year, but I guess not.
It's foreign. America hates foreign films unless, one, they're westernized and remade, or two, they're not from foreign directors.
And real quick before we go into what AJ is dying to know, so James also says Wonder Woman's a very solid movie with a female protagonist, but there's other films. Jesus Christ. Smurfy Boy says, I don't understand how Gal Gadot has been given so much power with so little experience. And Bry Guy goes, well, BAFTA's nominated My Life as a Zucchini, so one mainstream animated film, 2 independent animated films with Loving Vincent and Zucchini.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, boy.
It's My Life as a Courgette. Get it fucking right.
Well, something has occurred to me, though.
Okay.
I can't remember if I made this argument or not yet before, but you were saying that they weren't going for it because Call Me by Your Name might as well be foreign.
That's what Ashley just said.
I'm pretty sure there's more English in Call Me by Your Name than there is in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
That's actually what
yes,
No, but it's Tarantino, so it's automatically American.
But yes, there is something exotic about Call Me by Your Name where it does feel like it's like totally foreign, even though it isn't.
Fair point.
It's cool because it's from Luca. You know, I Am Love, very European. Biggest Splash, very European. Call Me by Your Name, very European. They're all considered American because they have the English language in them. But, you know, it's like with the BAFTAs. You know, the amount of reviews I've already seen saying Paddington 2 is like, it must be being used as sort of by the British as sort of advertising saying come to London or whatever. Not over here it ain't. It's just like, it's a fucking good film. You know, if we're going on that logic, considering how sort of well it did at the box office, everybody should be going to Grimsby because of Sacha Baron Cohen's movie. They're not.
Well, to get us as far away from the topic of the Brothers Grimsby as possible, will somebody please tell me what won original screenplay?
Isn't it obvious?
Thank you.
It's one of two. Obviously, Gerwig's out. The question is it McDonough or is it Peele?
Well, want me to complete what Jack Mooney said? That'll answer your question.
Well, I will say that the ensemble actress and supporting actor win bode well for a certain movie, but I can't be too sure.
Jack Mooney Show's official comment was, and Call Me by Your Name winning screenplay awards. The movie that he's referring to, other than Call Me by Your Name, is Jordan Peele.
Get Out.
And Get Out.
Wow.
Get Out got original screenplay.
Damn.
Yep, we got a race now.
It's the critics' choice. But yes, I guess we technically do.
Hey, anything's gonna help break up the monotony.
Keep in mind, even the BAFTAs put it in there.
Well, the real thing here is the fact that the WGA is not going to tell us shit about this race with the whole 3 awards and eligibility thing.
Yeah. Thanks, you stupid fucks. No, hang on. Whoa. Yeah, because of 3 billboards and eligibility, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I thought Get Out was in there, wasn't it? I had to double check. So yeah, Peele won, and spoilers, that's the only other award that Get Out took on the night.
Yeah.
For best acting ensemble, I was the only one that got it right for 3 billboards. Again, the Ladybird fuck you continues.
Yeah, it's weird.
But seriously, I think that would have been totally obvious to us if we had known the fact that 3 Billboards seems to be more and more beloved the more nominations that come out, and the fact that the BAFTAs also went for the double nomination in supporting actor is really showing a love for that movie.
It's also looking more likely that might be what the Oscars go with too.
Keep in mind though, 3 Billboards is a film for production.
Yep, it's also up for Outstanding British Film. It's
British.
Yeah, it is.
It's British as all hell because Martin McDonough. Yeah, it's not just best British film; it's also up for best film.
Yep.
At the rate it's got, if it did the double, then that would be a surprise. But then again, it'll probably go to Paddington 2.
I would not be surprised.
They really fucking love Darkest Hour, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Again, British. It's Working Title Productions. I think Working Title have been in 4 of the last 5 best pictures. At least, I think. Actually, when you look at it, I don't think Call Me By Your Name had any UK people backing it, but Darkest Hour does, Dunkirk does, and Free Billboard does. I don't think Shape of Water does. No, it's because of the Fox Searchlight thing. I think I'm getting confused. So then we get to Best Young Person. And obviously, again, because I went with, something that would make sense rather than the obvious choice. Brooklyn Price won for Florida Project, which apparently was so important they gave it away on the bloody free stream on the internet.
Wow.
I would take that as an insult if I were her, but okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, she actually did one of the best speeches of the night, from what I've heard. Apart from when we get to the end, because we'll get to that. So then we come to, I guess, the big 6 of what's left. So Alison Janney winning again for Best Supporting Actress.
Now, this is interesting because lots of comments in chat about this one. Josh Ricketts says Alison Janney is, I'll mention someone else in a minute, is a lock at this point. Metcalf wasn't as big of a contender as everyone thought she would be. Smurfy Boy says if Metcalf doesn't win at SAG or BAFTA, she's done for. Also says that about someone else in a minute. We'll get to that as well.
I don't know. Keep in mind, what was it last year? There was a big weird what the fuck in the BAFTAs, wasn't there?
Oh. So James says I'd say Metcalf might be done. Metcalf more than we'll talk about someone else in a minute. And Bry Guy says, AJ, would you tear something apart if Alison Janney wins SAG and Oscar, since that didn't happen with Kate Winslet 2 years ago?
Well, probably yes, but the thing about that is that I'm kind of like, it's fucking painful, but I'm slowly coming to terms with it because, yeah, it seems extremely, like, even if Laurie Metcalf had won up to this point, I think it still would have been really likely Janney would get SAG, because what Metcalf has been doing a lot lately is like stuff on the stage.
Oh boy.
And so the people in the screen area are like really familiar with Janney and like really crazy about her.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I'm already prepared for that, but yeah, it's still painful enough to where I
just looking back. Last year, Best Supporting Actor at the BAFTAs went to Dev Patel.
Yeah.
And of course, the Globes went to Aaron Taylor Johnson. So
yeah, supporting actor was fucking crazy last year.
There doesn't always have to be consensus. I mean, there wasn't consensus, but then again, you had the stupid shit in terms of in the BAFTAs, Vikander was considered leading for bloody Danish Girl, but she won supporting at the Oscars.
Well, we're also talking about the fact that you don't need consensus. I mend my broken heart as I recall Denzel winning SAG last year.
Yeah.
And also, wasn't it 2 years ago? Stallone for Creed.
He won the Globe.
God, yeah. I remember that.
That was an intense, because he had only won the Globe, but like he like seemed to really have momentum, like from a narrative perspective, that he seemed like he genuinely could have beat Rylance, but yeah, then we saw that, the real awards line.
Ashley, did you see? So real quick, Jack Mooney show was basically making a comment about at this moment predicting Diablo Cody next year for Tully for screenplay.
Oh yeah, Charlize movie.
Yeah, I've not seen the trailer yet. I got a feeling it's probably on the post because it just came out, so I have a feeling they'll put it on the post because based on my 16 years of movie theater experience and a few years of experience as a projectionist and putting movies together, that's usually how things work. So I would not be shocked to see that actually show up on the post. And if it does, I'll get you guys a report next time we do a show. Well, I can't say the next time, the show afterwards.
After the news that came today, I can't wait for everybody having to go, right, we'll have to get rid of the fucking New Mutants off Insidious.
Yeah, I saw that changed.
By 10 months.
And they moved that.
It looks like it's ready to come out in April. It's coming out next February.
Yeah, we saw the trailer on Insidious when we watched it yesterday.
Holy shit. That to me is already telling me that Warner Brothers is trying to make that really mustn't be going down well with test audiences. And they're having to redo it.
Should we go to the supporting category that didn't have a shitty turnout?
It's another piece of the chat. So yes, go right ahead. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Rockwell winning for Best Supporting Actor.
Josh saying Rockwell's a lock now. Maybe Willem Dafoe wasn't as big of a contender as everyone thought. But he also says there might be a split between him and Woody Harrelson if they both get a double nom.
I was thinking about that. But I don't know.
That'll be the interesting dilemma.
It's looking more and more likely that there will be a double nominated movie performance in supporting actor, and we've been calling it all season. We just picked the wrong movie.
Yeah, Big Little Lies.
The thing is I don't know if this is like the Willem fanboy in me, but in regards to respect in the industry, I probably will be predicting Rockwell when we do the SAG tomorrow, but I feel like Dafoe is not necessarily out until should Rockwell actually win SAG, in which case, yeah, obviously it'd be over. But I feel like Dafoe is still kind of in it until then.
Which is weird. It's like we say this every year, and I know it's a broken record, and I'm sure it is, but every year this gets proven correct. Once you get a so-called frontrunner, when the actual televised award shows start happening, that frontrunner a lot of the times drops off.
But there's also, this isn't usually the case, but since it's a two-person race, you can definitely bring it into play now. It's definitely going to be a player that the Florida Project will get no other nominations and 3 billboards as a frontrunner.
Yeah, exactly. Bry Guy says, Rockwell winning again. It looks like Dafoe may not get a television award. However, I could see him pulling an Idris Elba and Hugh Grant snub at the Oscars for supporting actor. And he also mentions Jack Mooney with Jared Leto getting shut out at BAFTA and Barkat Abdi winning. What happened to him?
Blade Runner. He was in that.
He's in Good Time as well.
For somebody of his ethnicity, if we're going on that whole, problem with Hollywood at the minute, there's going to be a lot of typecasting.
So,
yeah, isn't you talk about typecasting? Isn't Barkat Abdi in a movie right now called The Pirates of Somalia?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, that seems familiar.
From personal, I'm guessing because of personal experience. Because I think he was
This is a movie that is also starring Al Pacino, Evan Peters, and Melanie Griffith.
Look at me. I am typecast now.
Ooh.
Yeah, when the Somali civil war broke out, I had to move to Yemen.
Oh, as long as there were no salmon fishing, we're good to go.
The thing is, because he was born in Mogadishu, there's a shit ton of people in Mogadishu that are pirates in the modern sense, obviously.
So,
the thing I didn't know, Barkhad Abdi was a limousine driver and a DJ at one point in his life.
He's not as cool as DJ Big Dress, though. Can't forget that.
Way to bring it back around.
Yeah! Wrote it in like a Disney manager on a segue. So, Smurfy Boy says Defoe needs to win at SAG or BAFTA to still have a chance.
Yeah.
What was that again? I accidentally kicked the table.
Defoe has to win SAG or BAFTA to win the Oscar.
Oh, obviously.
And also says, I think Defoe fits the typical mold of the supporting actor winner.
There's a lot of Mahershala Ali vibes in that performance.
Can't say anything yet. I wish I could, but unfortunately I had 2 weeks to watch it, and nope. I have to wait till it comes back around. Continue.
So, Best Actress went to McDormand. Because, fuck Lady Bird, apparently.
Yeah, I guess I was a little wrong about that Ronin streak.
I mean, this could just be a roadblock. It could be like a step like away from it, and it could just continue. Or it might just end right here and now. You never know.
Part of me is now really not sure what's going to happen at the BAFTAs.
Nope. I have no idea at this point.
As long as it stays between McDormand and Ronin, we're okay. And quite honestly, at this point, I feel like Sally Hawkins might be more of a threat than we're thinking. Not like to win, but in regards to who's the next one under McDormand and Ronin. Maybe that's.
If we're talking about BAFTA, it could be.
I mean,
just keep in mind, although she's nominated for Shape of Water, Hawkins this year has also been in Paddington 2. Yeah, they're bringing that up again. And what was it? Not Marnie. Was it that? Maudie, that's it. Which all got critically acclaimed. I think for whatever, I can't remember what Sally Hawkins was up for. I'd have to quickly right-click and go open a new tab. I think at least
for when?
On one of the awards things, she's being considered, London Film Critics Circle Award for Actress of the Year. Rather than segmenting it, they're just bundling all the films that she's been in together. So technically, she's up for Maudie, Shape of Water, and Paddington 2 in that award. So if we're going on that logic, she could be the one that sort of unstables the Ronin or the McDormand.
I mean, I wouldn't have an issue with this at all. Sally Hawkins has been a lucky charm for me in the past, and I love her performance in The Shape of Water. So, I mean, I would not have a problem if she starts like getting into this race at actuality.
Keep in mind as well. I mean, okay, last year it was won by Kate Beckinsale for Love and Friendship, so but Ronan got it for Brooklyn and Lost River.
I totally forgot Lost River existed.
Yeah. Rosamund Pike got it for
now, but I had forgotten.
Yeah, Rosamund Pike in 2014 got it for Gone Girl and What We Did on Our Holiday. Olivia Colman got it in 2011 for Tyrannosaur and The Iron Lady. Yeah, Carol Thatcher was the lead actress in The Iron Lady, wasn't she? Not Meryl. I mean, it's British actress, but like, really? Couldn't come up. Why didn't they just say Tyrannosaur and be done with it?
Josh Ricketts says.
Even going back as far as 99, Emily Watson won for both Angela's Ashes and Hillary and Jackie.
So, as we continue with this category, Josh Ricketts says McDormand has SAG locked. She's extremely beloved, and basically mentioned McDormand won at SAG recently. I don't think they're in a rush to give her another win, which could lead to a Ronan or a Hawkins win at SAG. For Smurfy
Keep
Boy,
in mind, though, that is the fourth Critics' Choice Award that McDormand's won.
Right.
Out of 5. And the only reason she didn't win the 5th one, let me just quickly check it, just to double check.
So basically what you're saying, Ashley, is she's Christoph Waltz. If she gets nominated, she's going to win.
The only time she didn't was 2006 for supporting actress for North Country.
Oh, God. Wow, I definitely remember that movie.
Which instead went to a tie between Amy Adams for Junebug. Wow. And Michelle Williams for Brokeback Mountain.
God, so many feels in this conversation.
I love it. I love that.
Go ahead, AJ.
Who ended up winning that year at the Oscars?
Who did? Can't even remember.
The one at the Oscars was Rachel Weisz for The Constant Gardener.
Right.
Oh, he was nominated but didn't get anything.
James says he's thinking McDormand, Rockwell, and maybe screenplay for 3 Billboards. Director and picture are going to be tough. It's too bold. It's too honest. But I'm rooting for it. So is AJ, James. And as you know from listening for as long as you have, AJ rooting for a movie is not a good thing.
We're in a good place. We're in a very good place if 3 Billboards wins Ensemble at SAG. And that looks really damn likely with the fact that they went for Harrelson, too.
I agree with you on that.
And obviously the Globes ultimately don't matter, but the momentum it got from there, I think, is definitely helpful.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not going to be as bad as what happened with me in American Hustle, so regardless. So you're good to go.
The curse for that one was the rhyming.
Oh, God.
David O. Russell's American Hustle.
Yeah, I know. I may be one of the only. Jack Mooney says I may be the only one, but Phantom Thread was a one-of-a-kind experience with the best performance of Daniel's career. I don't think Oldman deserves it. Day-Lewis gave the haunting performance. It's going wide, I believe, Friday, so hopefully I got a shot to see it. James goes, I'm not sure Oldman does either. I haven't seen Phantom Thread or Darkest Hour, so I'm staying out of this. And Josh says, McDormand did win recently, but Ronan is young, even though she has 3 Oscar nominations. Hawkins would usually have the Oscar role, but the film in general is too weird. McDormand has the bombastic role and more defiant. Smurfy Boy says, it's very rare that a movie wins more than one acting award. The Academy likes to spread the wealth. And I have covered all of the chat now. Yay.
The Fighter and Dallas Buyers Club are pretty close together.
Very true. Continue. Yeah.
That's all I need to say. Because at this rate, it's Gary Oldman is, I guess, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, maybe at this point. I can't see. I mean, it's one of those things you don't know exactly where the rest of the race is going to go, but it's pretty obvious at this point, unless they go out in left field. Chalamet's only shot was tonight, and I think he's done.
Yes.
Was that what you were going to say?
I really don't know how much of a front runner Franco is. And
I mean,
I'm not talking about all the scandal stuff and everything.
he's still there. I mean, he's a distant second right now, but he's still in the race. All he would have to, once again,
I don't understand all this Franco's in second stuff. Is nobody paying attention to the fact that Chalamet is clearly second? And this was his, once again.
Well, no, you were saying, and I looked it up. Chalamet won the majority of the film critics awards.
yeah.
If you look at all the things, so why the fuck they changed their minds to Oldman? That shouldn't happen. But you know.
But then again,
Obviously
we're getting ahead of ourselves here. But I did just want to say, if you look at the critics' wins as well, The Shape of Water only has like 2 picture wins.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Don't worry. Bry Guy wants to know what we thought of Olivia Munn as a host.
I mean,
I do appreciate the G4 reference. I'll put that over.
Yeah, but anybody could have done that.
Yeah, but still, it was something.
You all are beating around the bush, so I'm going to say it. It was fucking dreadful.
Munn sucked, is what Josh just said. And Jack Mooney says terrible.
It's like they intentionally found the person with the least presence to do this.
It really felt like the MTV Movie Awards of the early '90s when they just didn't care, and it was obvious.
They went with the woman that said, "Oh, I do my own stunts as Psylocke," despite the fact it's on record that she did barely anything as Psylocke. Then again, considering what we've heard in terms of allegations, that might be for a reason.
Is there anything that Olivia Munn has ever done where that was memorable in her entire career?
You do know what caused her career to be definitively over, don't you?
Don't go there.
She was in fucking Mordecai.
Dear God, don't remind me.
And Iron Man 2. Remember that. And Ride Along 2. She was in Ride Along 2? Fuck.
She's part of Ocean's 8 as well. And the Predator.
He was the cop in Ride Along 2 that always conveniently wore yoga pants.
Yep.
And Zoolander 2.
Oh, Jesus fuck.
And the Lego Ninjago movie. Remember, she was in that. Oh, wait, nobody remembers that movie ever coming out.
I did say out loud during the I, Nancy joke that would make a better movie than I, Tonya.
Come on. There was a Tanya and Nancy NBC made-for-TV movie made right as soon as everything went down with Heather Langenkamp playing Nancy Kerrigan. Check that out if you get a chance to.
And she was in Office Christmas Party, of course, which, you know.
Oh, God.
Don't remind me of that garbage. Josh Ricketts says,
that nearly ended Jason Bateman's career. And then Ozark happened.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. 2 shitty Critics' Choice hosts were in Office Christmas Party.
Oh, my God, that's true. And it all comes back around. Josh Ricketts.
Keep in mind, oh, my God, this is funny.
Trying to go to the chat, Ashley. Continue.
The films that she's got on docket for 2018 are X-Men Dark Phoenix, the Predator reboot, sequel thing, Ocean's 8,
which I also just brought up.
And because, oh my God, this is fucking funny, she's in pre-production for a film called Dick Move.
So, look, I understand the time period we're in now, and that she's like the female character, but I ask you something. When I talk about the fact that Olivia Munn has never done anything memorable and has never shown any personality, the rest of the cast of The Predator, is Sterling K. Brown, Keegan-Michael Key, Jacob Tremblay, and Trevante Rhodes. Is she going to stand out at all?
Yeah, but in the wrong way.
And not to say they're going to really get to exercise their acting prowess in a Predator movie.
And we're not. And also, she's going to be. If we're talking on that front, she's going to have less charisma than Brie Larson in Kong Skull Island.
It's was worth it for Brie Larson to be in Kong Skull Island just because it's iconic to be in Kong's hand. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
This has gotten completely out of control.
Yeah, where did we leave off?
This is what happens. Welcome to doing Popcasts with Ashley.
She's in the same film with James fucking Corden and Aquafina and Rihanna and Anne Hathaway.
So I believe the original question was, what did we think of Olivia Montez?
That's exactly what the original. Thank you. We roll right back
Get
into
fucking James Corden. He'd be better.
So, Bright Guy says I have to find out what Kristen Bell does next weekend.
I have high hopes. She's so charming.
She should be fine.
She's talented.
She doesn't pick the greatest roles sometimes, or the greatest movies to be a part of, but she's great in them.
Yeah, but didn't she... I'm trying to think what she was involved with. Didn't she write something? I can't even remember. Oh, she didn't write anything. Might be getting confused with somebody else.
Oh my god, I completely forgot she was in Pootie Tang.
Yeah, it was her first movie.
Technically, it's her second movie because she was uncredited a couple years prior. But yeah, her first official titled movie, correct?
I was gonna say she told Conan it was her first movie.
Well, there's a movie in 1998 called Polish Wedding where she was an uncredited teenage girl. So there you go.
Holy shit! I saw that movie.
She was in Polish Wedding. What? By the way, Polish Wedding brought to you by Fox Searchlight.
God, she's done a lot of movies I enjoy. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, what category are we on?
We got one more piece of commentary in chat. Josh Rickett says kind of like Halle Berry. Yeah, I feel that since Three Billboards is the best acted movie of the year, in his opinion, it will be the special case where two actors win. Rockwell has the more Oscar role as a racist cop.
God, while it's been, I should have brought this up when we were talking about it, but now it's been brought up, I gotta say it.
Go ahead.
I was so fortunate to see Three Billboards again, and that scene, I don't know who has seen it, who hasn't, so I won't spoil it. But the scene towards the end with Rockwell in the bar.
Oh my god!
That's the scene where I think, you know what? If Willem loses, I'm kind of okay with it.
I'll say right now, I've only got a chance to see it once because when we had it originally, I watched Lady Bird twice, and I watched Disaster Artist twice, and I was getting ready to watch Three Billboards twice, but it left, so I couldn't. Now that it's back, I'm planning on watching it again.
You know what I noticed is so brilliant? I'm sure it's probably an obvious thing, but for some reason I just noticed it this time, and I just thought it was the most brilliant thing ever.
Go ahead.
Obviously, sorry if this is kind of a spoiler if nobody's seen it, but obviously, by the end of the movie, Rockwell is a burn victim.
Right.
And the scene when he goes outside the bar and lights his cigarette, when he lights the flame, he flinches.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, holy fuck, that's brilliant. I just had to get that out there.
No worries.
To be honest, the scene that won it for me for Rockwell was, "Hey, fuckhead," and he just what? I was like, don't say what when somebody calls you fuckhead. Just the way with his chair and everything, it was just like
with his damn comic books.
Yeah. And to be honest, the bit when he's just randomly listening to Chicatica, that ABBA song, Chicatica.
It's so weird watching that with a crowded theater that had no idea how to take the humor that was going on, and I felt like the wrong person in the wrong time because I was just laughing hysterically, and I was the only one that was.
I got snowed out, so I don't know this. Also, it might not have happened at the screening that I should have gone to for 3 billboards. But apparently some people were just over laughing at everything in Frances McDormand. So, like, you know, people were like nearly coughing up lungs when Frances McDormand kicked the girl in her vagina.
Yeah, that got a huge pop in the theater, but I understand what you mean by over laughing. Thankfully, so far, I haven't had to deal with that here in Orlando, but I've had in the past. So
I know some people were like, they felt forced. They felt like they, I guess, forced to laugh because they were under the impression that it was a comedy.
I don't care if they laugh or not. I'm going to laugh. I think it's funny.
I think, from what I remember as well, somebody on one of the forums that I'm at was saying, so the bit when no, is it Mildred?
Mildred Hayes.
The actual the murdered girl.
And what are we talking about?
I have no idea where he's going.
3 billboards.
Yeah.
The bit, isn't it? Mildred Hayes is the name of the murdered daughter, isn't it?
No, her name is Mildred Hayes. The daughter is Angela.
That's it, Angela. I should have known that. I saw the trailer twice today for bloody With Molly's Game and All the Money in the World, but even though I've already seen it. Apparently when it's like, oh, I hope I get raped, and she storms out, people were laughing at that. Like,
that's probably the worst scene in the movie by far. I don't know why that would get laugh. That's kind of morbid.
I mean, again, it was from certain screenings, and it was like 60 screens across the country. But certainly, when I saw it at a relatively packed screening, there was sort of like it was sort of like the Kevin Spacey jokes at the Globes. It was like oh god.
Really, honestly, even though I love the movie so much and McDonagh's a genius, that's just not a good line. Like,
yeah, I get why it's there because of the impact, but you know. Anyway, jumping on to better things. Once again, the master of the "don't play my fucking music" applause, please. Guillermo del Toro for Best Director. He's like, I can dance to this one. It's like, what?
I was wondering if anybody else saw the dancing when it won picture.
Yeah, that when he wanted to say something at the end, and it's just like, I'm going to dance to it, because you mentioned before, you know how this one's got a nice rhythm to it. It's better music than what we had at the Globes.
Oh, by the way, there was a moment that I totally loved that we kind of glossed over because I forgot about it till just now.
Go ahead.
Did anybody by any chance see how happy Del Toro was when Ted Danson won? When Danson walked by him on his way to the stage, Del Toro looked like he wanted to hug him.
No, come to think of it, yeah. Ted Danson, fucking Guillermo del Toro loves Cheers. That's what we've established.
That's fine with me. It's a quality show.
We must have established it via that. It's brilliant.
No, the second is right after they switched the light off in the bar for the last time. Right after the camera went off, Del Toro came in and put the light on, and just to prove he could, and then left.
The question is he going to In-N-Out Burger again? Can you are there any In-N-Out burgers actually near you guys, or is that the wrong side of the country?
Wrong side of the country.
Right. I was gonna say, because like, if Shape of Water wins at the Oscars, does the Critics' Choice become In-N-Out Burger? Because of Del Toro. So that's brilliant. It's like, I could be celebrating at the after party. Fuck it, we're getting a double from In-N-Out.
Like when Patton Oswalt won his Emmy and went to Arby's.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm trying to remember. Is In-N-Out Burger the bloody Okada? burger. AJ won't
Why
get
are
it
we
because
talking?
it's
Are we
wrestling.
talking about the IWGP Heavyweight Champion on a?
Remember, they were making a big thing. They were making a big thing when they were over on the West Coast talking about, was it In-N-Out Burger? Him and Tanahashi.
Oh my God!
Sorry, AJ.
I'm googling this random thought right now. Don't worry.
We're just establishing the fact that Del Toro loves In-N-Out Burger.
Yep, that's totally true. Okada with the G1 special, including In-N-Out Burger. Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, so, you know, Japan loves it. Del Toro loves it. It's brilliant.
God, Josh Rickett says Rockwell is a character arc that voters would sympathize with. And just being honest, 3 Billboards is a masterpiece, which is why James is prepared for it not to win.
Oh. Yeah, it's one of those cases where it's like...
Murphy Boy said it. Go ahead.
You think about Dixon in his first scene, and then you think about him towards the end, like at that bar scene, for instance. And it's just insane how much he's changed. Like, there's that moment when he's like... It's the bar scene again that I'm so obsessed with. Where it's like when Dixon goes outside and he looks at the license plate and smokes that cigarette. It's like the first time Dixon has actually acted like a cop.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But he's still able to use that lack of impulse control in his favor instead of against him.
I mean, if we're talking about the Jordan Peele way of how cops look, the scene where he smashes into the printing place probably is more what he might have been feeling. Just randomly go in and beat some people up because, you know, they are the law.
Worth noting, Caleb Landry Jones got the shit beat out of him this year. Because he was the brother in Get Out. And he was also Red in 3 Billboards.
No, yeah. And he fucking died in American Made.
Yeah, he blew the fuck up.
Did he get beaten the shit out of in Florida Project?
No, but he and Willem got into like a scuffle. Not like a scuffle, but like heated. So it could have come to that.
And I'm pretty sure he got fucked up in War on Everyone. As well. Did he get fucked up in The Last Exorcism? Probably.
Yeah, he's like covered in bandages at the end.
And did he get fucked up in Twin Peaks?
I have no idea. Are we going to go through his whole filmography? He gets set on fire and heaven knows what.
I don't even know what happened to Banshee in X-Men First Class. Considering he didn't appear in any of the rest of them,
I believe he died abruptly, like when they all kind of died at once.
And he was Boy on Bike in No Country for Old Men. That was his debut film? Holy shit.
He's the one that says, "Look at that fucking bone."
God.
So what we're establishing is Shape of Water got Best Picture.
Yeah.
After going through K.O. Landry Jones' entire filmography.
Well, no, because...
So random.
This is where I want to jump on the sort of everybody hating on the BAFTAs because all the directors are white men. You know how much shit there's been behind Del Toro? Like not getting any recognition for his work? The only time he did was for foreign language stuff.
Well, I was telling Owen today, it's weird because the headline for one of the DGA articles was DGA shows diversity by nominating Peele and Gerwig, but it's like Peele and Gerwig were going to be nominated anyway. I really don't think it's even about that because their movies are in like the top 5 here.
Mm-hmm. And it's like Del Toro is actually Mexican. So he's not, he's not American, but he makes American movies, unlike Luca. Because I don't think Luca would make Hellboy, or Blade 2, or hell for that matter, Mimic.
Obviously, throw in the other two of the three Amigos with Inarritu and Guaron.
Mm-hmm. It's because he's the least Hispanic looking, I guess.
I would guess there's still people out there that confuse Guillermo del Toro and Peter Jackson.
Should we plant that seed? Should we plant that seed? Especially when you take into account bloody what would have happened with The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And yeah, we should start it up. That cameo in Hot Fuzz, it wasn't Peter Jackson, it was actually Guillermo del Toro.
Of course, it didn't. Kind of on that, wasn't there a point where I don't watch the show, but I'm always hearing about it? Because Charlie Day was in Pacific Rim, didn't Guillermo del Toro have a cameo in an episode of It's Always Sunny? I feel like I heard that.
Hang on, let's double check. Yeah. Sorry. 2 episodes in 2012 and 2016 as Pappy McPoyle.
This is just degenerate. This is what happens. Number one, when you find a stranger in the Alps. This is what happens, seriously, when you do a podcast. When we're in a podcast with 2 people that know anything and everything, and you just sit back and just like, I'm just like twiddling my thumbs, trying to watch chat here. Smurfy Boy 92 says,
okay, we'll bring you in, Owen. Is Blade 2 the best of the Blade movies?
God.
Because I'd say yes.
Dude, it is no contest. Blade 2 is an action masterpiece.
Yeah, I like Blade 2, and I'll shoot with you guys. I've never seen. Once again, this is another one of those. Oh, and you haven't watched the original questions. No, I've never seen the original Blade. Anybody that's listened to this for a long time has been like watching us and following along with us knows action has never been my favorite genre. I like action movies, but I've not been like hyper like loving them like a lot of the general public do. I just and that's how we kill a podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
My question about
Del Toro was exec producer on Kung Fu Panda 3? What the fuck? And Rise of the Guardians?
Yeah, I remember seeing his name on Rise of the Guardians.
Holy shit. But not Kung Fu Panda 1. He was on Kung Fu Panda 2, but not 1.
Smurfy Boy 92 says, "Are Peel and Gerwig in at the Oscars?" Yeah.
Definitely.
100%. Anybody that believes otherwise, I got some oceanfront property to sell you in Arizona.
If they don't, expect protests.
For me, literally. Literally and figuratively, for me.
Also, to me, it's the same adage that we had last year when the whole, there's no black people in. Or was that 2 years ago with the Oscars so white thing?
I try not to think about that. You bring that up more than anyone else.
No, but it's getting to a point this year where women are saying, why isn't there like 4 men and 1 woman every year? Well, then that's just sort of leaving that woman spot to possibly just be a placeholder, like, also appearing. The only other time the woman won, in recent memory, obviously was Bigelow, wasn't it, for Hurt Locker?
Right. I mean, I really wanted...
And she won that outright. She didn't win it because, she was in there because of, like, a pity thing. She's a good film director. okay, the opportunities need to be given to women, but in all honesty, that's what Greta Gerwig got with this thing.
And
it makes sense for her to be in it. It isn't just like, oh, well, there has to be one woman in every year.
Okay. Everyone here knows about my Gerwig bias. 100% Gerwig bias. I've been a fan for many years. I've been happily able to theatrically watch a few of her films, one of which I dragged, the AJ ended up going to, and that was a really entertaining experience.
Entertaining. What an interesting word for it.
Hey, it was entertaining for me.
Of course, the irony is one of the two words in the title of that film is "ha."
Exactly. But yeah, I'm a huge Greta fan. I'm really happy to see she's getting her just due. I mean, I thought she was in the race to win director now, but the thing is with like the BAFTA snub, and I mean, the only way I can see it happening at this point is if something happens and she's got to win SAG, and she can't because that doesn't exist. It's an acting award, so needless to say, there's not many ways it could possibly go anywhere. So I'm thinking at this point, like Del Toro's in this race now, and it's like the one person that we have been talking about since day one of being the person that we thought would potentially win Best Director at the Oscars is Christopher Nolan, and it seems like he's really on the outside looking in right now.
Well, obviously, being Nolan, getting nominated is going to be his reward for sure.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Because it will have finally happened.
Hi, Cassie. Welcome to chat.
Because now I need to go back and click on the thing. Has he? He wouldn't have been nominated for the Dark Knight films.
He got in DGA for, I think, The Dark Knight and Inception, but he's never been Oscar nominated.
I don't want to know reception. I want to know his awards. Awards and nominations. There we go. Yeah, he got original screenplay for Memento and Inception, and Best Picture for Inception. He got BAFTA Best Director nomination for Inception. Globes. And oh wow, DGA has actually gave him a nod for Dark Knight as well as Memento.
I got him from Memento.
Yeah, in 01. Where I'm guessing, yeah, lost to Ron Howard for Beautiful Mind, which of course went on to win the Oscar. So
yeah, don't remind me.
Yeah, I was gonna say the problem I have with Gerwig is just the fact that obviously I like Lady Bird, but I mean, as far as like direction goes, when you have stuff like what Del Toro did and what Nolan did, even really what Peele did, it's more like Lady Bird just doesn't stand out in that way. But then again, it would be like when Ron Howard won for A Beautiful Mind when he was up against like Peter Jackson for Fellowship. It's just in general, I think Lady Bird is good, but it really just doesn't stand out like that. And I know like my one opinion really doesn't matter in regards to this, but that's why it's kind of baffling to me that there's such a big deal in regards to, I don't know, but like people, I get it's not so much her getting nominated. It's the thought that there are still some people that think Gerwig can win.
I want her to win, but I'm just not thinking it's going to happen at this point.
Unless Lady Bird was an absolute picture front runner is the only way that would happen. Especially now that Del Toro is so clearly the favorite.
Well, it's the weird thing. It's like I thought things were different, and then I saw BAFTA, and it's like things just started trickling away. It's like now it's kind of like
to me, the most important thing for BAFTA is Spielberg, isn't there? Because I think if you look at the list that's there for the BAFTAs and even include Greta in it, they're all better than whatever. I mean, hell, when Spielberg admits he made this because he had so much time because of post-production for Ready Player One, but it was basically just like a passion piece that he did in like 6 months. You know he can't. You know he don't give a shit. You know that picture that does the rounds of him in that fucking scarf. What is that? Only one guy with a scarf, and that's Chris Jericho.
This is true.
And Tom Baker. Scarves don't normally work.
What made me stray away from Spielberg this season was the fact that that Bridge of Spies snub was still really telling. Because I remember being really convinced he was in for Bridge of Spies, and I think he even got in DGA. I'm not positive on that, but I was thinking he did.
Ooh, let me try and double check.
Smurfy Boy asks, is Daniel Kaluuya getting in for Best Actor? It could go either way. I mean, he could be the big snub that everybody was like, "Oh God, he had everything. How did he miss?"
He was the fact that Get Out really started taking off was really good for him.
It's helping. It
was SAG that I think really like pretty much sealed it, and then BAFTA. Even though he's British, it always seemed likely he was going to get in here. I think he's pretty much good to go.
It's got to figure out. I mean, you got to figure out who the 5 are going to be at this point.
Actually, let me double check because that's possibly interesting. DGAs. The DGAs with oh, can I actually have a list of the films that were up, not the actual feature film? Thanks. It's being stupid. Yeah, Bridge of Spies didn't even make DGA.
Oh damn.
Revenant won, and the other ones were Big Short, Mad Max, Martian, and Spotlight.
Yeah, I forgot they went Ridley Scott.
The last time Spielberg was up for a DGA was Lincoln in 2012.
While we're on the subject of DGA, by the way, I heard somebody saying today when I brought it up, I was saying I feel pretty confident that DGA is going to match the Oscars this year. If for some reason anybody was wondering, the last time that happened was 2009. And weirdly enough, they were talking about the diversity because Peele's black and Gerwig's a woman. In 2009, we had Catherine Bigelow and Lee Daniels.
Yep.
Lee Daniels, the butler, by the way.
Once again, with Peele and Gerwig, I don't even think it's a diversity thing. I think they were always in this because they've done so well.
Have they retroactively called it Lee Daniels, the butler?
I will say that when we got the print and I put it together, you have to put the actual title of the film, and they hated when I did this because I was really literal about my stuff, and I put Lee Daniels, the butler. It's like, why did you put the butler or butler? I was like, because that's not the title of the movie.
Over here, the BBFC classification just said the butler. I guess they thought British people would go, who's Lee Daniels?
Yeah.
Probably.
So Smurfy Boy says there's an outside chance for All the Money in the World. No. Not as a movie, I don't think.
Plumber is very, very likely.
Plumber for 2.5 weeks.
It's also being underestimated in adapted screenplay, I think.
Potentially.
After having seen it today, 2.5 weeks for what would you say, AJ, a third of the movie? At least?
He's in it a lot more than I thought he was.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only bit where you can actually see the shoddiness was the opening sort of scene with him in Arabia. Of which I can't tell whether they've CGI'd his face onto.
I was trying to tell when we could only see him in silhouette. Like, it was like, did they go through the trouble of replacing the silhouette shots too? And there are actually sometimes.
If you look at that clip of Spacey in the trailer, and look at the clip of him showing up at this of Plummer at the start of the movie, the body frame looks pretty too similar. And you can sort of see sort of a dodgy join around sort of the
and
the neck.
It's easy to tell the difference because the space he makes him look like a Dick Tracy villain. Especially that
pretty much
that opening scene of Dick Tracy with the card game. He'd be one of those guys.
Listen, see. So, rounding that off, the final doors on the scores were I fucked up with 11, and Owen and AJ tied with 14. So as it stands, AJ's in the lead on 36, Owen's on 33, and I've lost on 29. Because if we go by the history, hell, the first 2 years we did this, considering this is the fourth.
Oh God, he remembers. Good, continue.
I remember like being in the lead at the Globes both of those first 2 times, and I was like, yeah, and I fell off dramatically. This is no, actually, I think this is the third time. This is the first time when I was like on par with both you guys, and now the falling off's happening, and it always gets worse when it comes to BAFTA. I'm pretty sure last year. Let me go to the record. 2016. Where is it? That's 2015. Have I actually got 2015's archive as well?
Wow.
No, that's a wrong file. Fuck it. Where is it? 20 award? No. I'm trying to look through my.
James doesn't like Christopher Plummer. Apparently, he's like, it's a political hit job on Spacey if he gets nominated, and I love Plummer.
Well, yeah. Well, take into account the role that you get in that film. I cannot stress it enough. All that footage was done in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, no lie.
That third of the film, let's say, was 2.5 weeks, of which he's a pivotal role in the fact that he really did make J. Paul Getty look like a right cunt. And that takes effort, especially when you take into account, as I say, the time span that it was done. And I honestly think that's why he'll get the nomination, because they want to acknowledge the fact, holy shit, look at what he did. Obviously, I think the Critics' Choice sort of came before. Did they announce them before that really sort of happened? It's just the Globes wanted to be fancy.
I can't remember the time, but I was just thinking though, while we're kind of somewhat on the topic, anybody else notice there were an awful lot of clips of Baby Driver tonight, and none of them featured a certain somebody?
Yeah.
Cut
that man out.
Ashley brought that up live when we were talking.
Because they showed a lot of the scenes that he's in, but these were carefully edited.
As I say, and I said this on the call. This is why we'd like to have you sort of on with me and Owen, because then you can hear Owen swear. Then again, you've been used to that for years. Not on the actual YouTube though, because he's like that. Eventually, I'll make him screw up. Sometime.
I do see definitely where he's. Who was it that said that about the Spacey hit job?
That would be James.
It is one of those cases to where it's like you don't necessarily want to think that way, but when you see Plummer get nominations like this, or you see when they would go, and this isn't necessarily fair because it would have happened anyway, but like when they nominate Robin Wright for House of Cards, there's a piece of you that says that's a fuck you to Spacey, isn't it? So kind of like how I thought when we did the prediction video that the Globes were going to give the win to Plummer to really say it. But obviously that didn't happen.
Wow. Sorry, I was even wrong. It wasn't 2.5 weeks. Reshoots with Plummer began on November the 20th and ended on the 29th.
God.
He did it in a week and 2 days for a third of the film. Also, apparently, just to really stir the shit up, Michelle Williams got a few $1,000s for the reshoots. Mark Wahlberg got $2 million.
Yeah, it initially started off with people were saying, well, that's just apparently Michelle Williams thought everybody was going to do it for free, so she said, I'll just do it for free. But it was Wahlberg specifically who said, no, I'm not doing that. But apparently it really ended up pissing Ridley Scott off. Because Ridley Scott kind of thought the same way Michelle Williams did, and Wahlberg basically went behind everybody's backs and said, I need more millions if I'm going to do this. And they said they pretty much only did it because they had no choice, because then they would have had to reshoot Wahlberg scenes too, and they didn't want to do that.
And also, keep in mind, who's listed first in the credits?
Yeah, Wahlberg's the and.
Yes, Wahlberg's last. It's Michelle, then Plummer.
Though I will say, the poster outside my theater still had Spacey's name on it.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at this at all. So, Surfy Boy says supporting actor noms are Defoe, Rockwell, Harrison, Plummer, and Hammer.
So we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I've been dying to say this for a while now.
Go ahead.
Once again, I know we're getting way ahead, but I'm just going to go ahead and say this now. I'm betting on Stuhlbarg, actually, because every damn buddy talks. Whenever Call Me by Your Name comes up, even just yesterday, I think Timothée Chalamet was on Fallon, and everybody talks about that scene. And I think it's going to be like, look at it this way. I know they're different movies, it's different situations, but just let me word it this way. If Call Me by Your Name is Nocturnal Animals, Armie Hammer is Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Michael Stuhlbarg is Michael Shannon.
That's a fair point.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to actually see the movie because, once again, don't have access to it currently. I know it's going wider now, so maybe I'll get lucky in the next couple weeks. So I think it might be our show today.
I bet the Tonys now really regret having Spacey as host. Literally, like what, a month or two before the allegations came out.
You guys are on your and I get so nervous when I talk about Spacey because I'm so going to say the wrong thing at some point.
Yeah.
Just looking at it as well, apparently it's been in post-production for like a year. But I don't know what's going to happen to that Billionaires Boys Club with Ansel Elgort and Taron Egerton and Emma Roberts and all that. I guess that's getting thrown out as well.
And it looks like James gets the last word here in chat. I agree with Ashley. It's impressive they shot it that quick. I hope it's the reason he got nominated.
Honestly, it has to be.
It's certainly the reason. It's certainly the reason Ridley Scott got nominated.
Oh, most definitely.
Assuming we're talking about the Globe nominations, obviously Plummer's also in elsewhere, but yeah. There were some people that thought that Ridley Scott would get in DGA.
Well, the fact that Plummer made it in the BAFTAs for supporting actor.
Yeah, that's a really good push. And for somebody that may or may not be betting on him, that relieves me.
So
yeah,
everybody fucking knows what my supporting actor is.
That makes SAG looks really weird by putting Steve Carell in there.
I love that. He's amazing in Battle of the Sexes.
No, he is and all, but what? Carell didn't do it in 9 days. Christopher Plummer is the Lady Jane Grey. If you don't know, Lady Jane Grey was Queen of England for 9 days.
With context, that's actually a great reference.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be how we go home.
He's 88, for God's sake. I don't even realize that. He's nearly 90 and he did all that in 9 days. I wish I could be that active at the age of 88. I might be, I don't know.
All right. So once again, I want to thank everyone for joining us in our live chat tonight. Very lively live chat tonight. We really appreciate you guys and girls out there chatting us up here, talking about the Critics' Choice Awards. Like Ashley said, we probably did better viewers-wise than the actual show
that's
did.
The irony. No, but the irony is as well, there weren't that many people in for the Globes, and that was more entertaining.
Yep.
Critics' Choice shit. We're getting some debate. I love this shit. Roll on round 3 when we get to, I guess the next one's SAG on the 21st.
Yep, and our Guild's Popcast is going to be tomorrow morning. So check my Twitter at Disney for when it's going to go live.
When are we doing the reactions to the Guilds? After the last one's out, which is, I'm guessing that's is that DGA, I'm guessing?
DGA was the last one. Our first Guild winner is PGA the day before SAG.
So it's going to be tomorrow is when our podcast is going to be. Well, actually today in about 10, 11 hours from right now.
So is WGA next and then DGA is the last to be revealed?
We're probably not going to be doing reactions on the guilds. Probably for the
some sort of video to cover the numbers. How else do we react?
Well, we're going to be when the SAGs are actually given out. We're going to do a podcast on the SAGs. It's a televised award show.
DGA's are February 3rd.
And WGA's the 11th.
Oh, so the WGA's are last.
Yeah, that's weird.
So we're only doing televised award shows when it comes to actual podcasts. But like I said, coming up, we got our SAG prediction podcast.
If that's the case, we could probably do it as a brief wrap up. Oh, well, we could wrap up the guilds when we do the picks for the BAFTAs.
Potentially.
Possibly.
BAFTAs. We have BAFTA podcast coming up to talk about our predictions, and also when the BAFTAs are over, we'll go live to talk about it. Now, the funny thing is the BAFTAs is very interesting because the BAFTAs obviously is not on time that AJ and I deal with. It's on Ashley time. So needless to say, we're going to have to go live after the
US version.
The US version airs.
Of which I'm going the best way I can think of trying to avoid it is either going to the cinema that night and seeing films when it's going on. And basically because it will be hopefully by 8:00 at night your time, the archived version will be available to view on the BBC iPlayer service. That I'll be able to watch that, which I think is basically the same feed that you get, because they always do at the end. Also announced at this event, except they'll probably give a damn about cinematography, unlike the Critics' Choice. Oh yeah, Roger Deakins. God damn it! Give that man his praise. Hang on, Roger Deakins watch. I don't know whether that's the first time Roger Deakins has got Critics' Choice. I need to verify this.
So, yeah, Cassie, it's nice chatting with everyone here. Thanks for joining us again live in an archive. It's great getting everyone to have a nice debate, all of us here, about the Critics' Choice Awards. Like I said, we pretty much had more of a debate than the actual award show was worth. So that's just pretty much how it works. Tomorrow, we're back with the guilds.
Oh, I'm desperate to find this. Critics' Choice Award. Cinematography, damn it.
Wrestling fans back here Monday night for Raw. Wednesday Wrestling Podcast should be returning Wednesday. We'll see. I'm always you never know anymore.
I'm right. they've only given the cinematography since 2009, but Roger Deakins had never worn up till now. So hopefully this is the start of something. Roger Deakins watch only on the Popcast Network. Dun.
Oh God! You almost turned us into the ESPN Sports Center music for a second there. So once again, that's going to be your show. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
I am on Twitter. Ash is my name, UK.
AJ, of course, as always, cannot be found anywhere on social media, but he will be able to be contacted if you want to email me, sirowandisney@gmail.com. Leave a comment on any of the AJ's movie reviews or verses. They're going to be coming up. We got verses coming up this weekend, and actually, it's going to be old school this weekend. So we've got our Guilds video coming on tomorrow, which bumps AJ's movie reviews to Saturday, and versus returns to its original day and time of Sunday. So that's going to be coming your way. And it looks like we have a confirmation of potentially a best of the year video coming on Monday.
That's the plan, because this week's reviews are going to be Paddington 2 and Insidious, as well as The Post and The Shape of Water.
Very nice.
And that Sunday before they get the best of video, I'll be seeing Molly's Game.
What's really funny about
2 motherfuckers.
What's really funny about that is I'm watching almost everything he just mentioned, either for the first time or again before this week is over.
Paddington 2 motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'll be watching that Saturday. Doesn't look like I'll be going over to Disney on the weekend. So.
Hang on, I need to verify whether we can find any excuse to watch it on Sunday. Oh, I guess Coco's on. And I guess need to catch up with Jumanji. Hang on, let me verify.
I'll be watching Jumanji finally, and The Greatest Showman for the second time later this week as well. Tuesday, actually.
And it's on at 1:10 in the afternoon. Does it clash with the other thing?
This is what happens. This is why shows go so long.
Yes.
So, follow me on Twitter at Siro and Disney. Follow the network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. And like I said, you have any ideas for Sip and Snack, or Versus, or the Ugly Regular segments on the network, shoot me an email, SiroandDisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
This is the Roger Deakins watch music. I'm calling it now.